Amos Yee is a former YouTuber, a blogger, a child actor at one point, and a man who defends pedophilia. He originally had a lot more views than that, but we're going to talk about those today in another episode of Why Does Nobody Talk About? There's a good reason for this one, trust me. So Amos Yee was born in late October 1998 in Singapore. Ethnically Chinese, you know, he studied seemingly a decent kid for most of his life. At one point, in 2011, he actually also decided to put in for a film festival in Singapore. And there's this video about it.
The newspaper very first film festival received 160 entries altogether. And you know what? The best entry in the judges' eyes was actually produced with the lowest budget and by the youngest participating filmmaker. 13-year-old Amos Yee bagged two top prizes, Best Actor and Best Short Film.
I think I've proven that low-budget films can be really good. Yeah!
Just how low budget is this 3-minute short film, which was directed, scripted, and edited by Amos Yee?
We just have to raise $500,000 before it's too late. $500,000? The hell? I believe this request is simply absurd for us diminutive kids to try to comprehend. Come on, we have to help Jane!
Well, the 13-year-old did not have to pay any actors since he played all 4 characters. He also didn't need a cameraman. Every scene was shot on a tripod. What about a set designer? No need. His bedroom was all that he required.
He even starred in another film directed by Jack Neo called We Not Naughty, which is it's essentially a Singaporean comedy film where he actually played the younger brother of one of the main characters. Apparently a very pivotal role in that film. But he was very controversial after that. Immediately, he criticized, like, in 2012, he criticized the Chinese New Year, calling it a ripoff of a Western New Year's Day. He had insulted the former Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, at one point, including insulting the legal ban on homosexuality, Hunger Games, Valentine's Day, the movie Boyhood, a whole bunch of stuff. However, the more important one is when Lee Kuan Yew, shown here, passed away from pneumonia. On March 28th, 2015, Amos Lee uploaded a 9-minute long video called Lee Kuan Yew is Finally Dead.
Lee Kuan Yew is dead, finally. Why hasn't anyone said, fuck yeah, the guy is dead? Lee Kuan Yew was a horrible person.
And we're going to play some clips from that here. So as I go on, you're going to see some clips of that. Like where he's talking about how Lee and Jesus are very similar. And describing the people who followed him as delusional and ignorant. Roll that clip.
I'm going to compare him to someone that people haven't really mentioned before. Jesus. And the aptness of that analogy is heightened, seeing how Christians seems to be a really big fan of him. They are both power-hungry and malicious, but deceive others into thinking that they are compassionate and kind. Their impact and legacy will ultimately not last as more and more people find out that they're full of bull. And Lee Kuan Yew's followers are completely delusional and ignorant, and have absolutely no sound logic or knowledge about him that is grounded in reality, which Lee Kuan Yew very easily manipulates, similar to the Christian knowledge of the Bible and the work of a multitude of priests.
Also said that he hoped that Lee would not rest in peace. Here's that clip.
Good riddance, Lee Kuan Yew. I neither hope and neither will you rest in peace.
And of course, then at the end, he issued Lee's son, Lee Haising Leun, which I'm pretty sure I just fucked that name up, stating that if he wanted to sue him, that he would be obliged to dance with him.
But I'm not afraid. So if Lee Hsien Loong wishes to sue me, I will oblige to dance with him. Come at me, motherfucker.
Of course, before uploading the whole video, he said he was slightly apprehensive to what he was doing, and told a couple friends, looked up the Sedation Act, and even informed his mother that he was making a video. And it kind of didn't pull a great response from Singaporeans. There were a couple actors who weighed in on the issue, and here's those clips.
对于他所做的4个字勇气可嘉，然后不过还是我觉得基本做人的道理要有，就是至少要饮水思泉吧。不管你对他有多少的意见，可是你现在能够坐在家里舒舒服服的打开你的电脑录制这一个影片，我觉得 很幸福嘛，对吗？没有什么好担忧的。我觉得至少要有一个感恩的心。
He was arrested soon after. Of course, on his blog, he also had a character of Lee Kuan Yew, I believe ass-fucking Margaret Thatcher, which is a funny idea for an image, but still. Apparently, Amos Yee's mother had filed a police report against her son because she was fearful that she was unable to control his behavior, essentially. Now, he was arrested on March 29th, pretty much 1 to 2 days later, for the deliberate intention of wounding the religious or racial feelings, threatening or abusive or insulting communication, and obscenity. Now, should he have been arrested for this? My opinion was no. I genuinely don't feel like his criticisms of his country were worth being arrested for. I really don't. If it wasn't for that arrest, though, we wouldn't have known Amos Yee. I mean, honestly, wouldn't have known him that much. So yes, the Committee to Protect Journalists and a petition started by a Christian Singaporean had both called for Yee's release. However, on March 31st, 3 charges were read out to Yee in the State Courts of Singapore, 2 of which were related to the video. The first charge was the video violated Section 298 of the Penal Code, as it contained remarks against Christianity with deliberate intention of wounding the religious feelings of Christians in general, and the second charge was under Section 4 of the Protection from Harm Act, later withdrawn. The Yee's 2015 video violated the Protection from Harassment Act 2014, as it contained remarks about Mr. Lee Kuan Yew which was intended to be heard and seen by persons likely to be distressed. And then the third charge was about the image of Lee and Thatcher. Yee was initially released on bail at 20,000 Singapore dollars on March 31st, 2015 on condition that he not comment or distribute any content online while the case is still ongoing. Meanwhile, Lee's father, whom Lee describes as being physically abusive, addressed Prime Minister Lee Hsien-loong, I'm gonna fuck up every name, I swear, stating that he was very sorry. On April 3rd, Lee's mother brought him to the Institute of Mental Health to see a psychiatrist to understand why he seemed too daring and feared nothing, but Lee quit after 2 sessions. Today, report was because Amos refused to continue the sessions at IMH, which was contradicted by former bailer Vincent Law, who later told the online citizen that Yee could not attend the 3rd IMH session because it had clashed with the day of his bail review hearing, and that Yee had unsuccessfully asked the Institute to bring the session forward. On the 29th of April, Yee breached his bail conditions by not uploading online content again by making 2 blog posts. First one questioned ridiculous terms of his bail, which Yee has said has absolutely nothing to do with my presence in court. And of a second accused his father of being abusive, quote-unquote, and violent. Now, his trial was pretty big. It blew up everywhere. I remember seeing videos about it from creators on a lot of different sides, mostly the skeptic community, because it was pretty insane for someone who, you know, criticized something, genuinely decided to criticize, getting arrested and jailed like this. It was a bullshit charge, I think. Now, he was bailed out by a man named Vincent Law, who was a family and youth counselor and a Christian parent. Now, Law had never met Yee before, and genuinely felt that this kid deserved to be free. Now, we'll get into Vincent Law in a minute, because I want to talk about something that happened that I really have no other place to put it in. So, on the 30th of April 2015, Lee was slapped by a man named Neo Gim Hua, who ran away after challenging Yee to sue him. That guy was arrested, but I just wanted to play this video.
Who slapped a teen blogger Amos Yee has been sentenced to 3 weeks in jail. 49-year-old Neo Gim Hua had pleaded guilty to voluntarily causing hurt.
Neo Gim Hua admitted to forcefully slapping the 16-year-old. This happened on April 30th at about 2:40 p.m. outside the state courts. At that time, Yee was on his way to attend a pre-trial conference. The court heard that Neo, who runs his own air conditioning and electrical engineering business, was offended by a video Yee had posted. He felt the video was disrespectful to the late former Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. The court heard that Neo committed the assault where the media was present as he wanted it to be publicized. The prosecution said the law does not support vigilante justice and no one should take the law into their own hands. During the court session, Neo Gim Hua, who was not represented, appeared solemn and kept his head bowed for most of the proceedings.
Now, on May 15th, 2015, after Yee was released from court, Yee took to Facebook to allege that he'd been molested by Vincent Law. Now, Law obviously called the allegation false, and Yee eventually said that Law didn't really molest him, but maintained that Law was creepy. Which is kind of a different thing from molestation. He eventually described that his own actions were horrid and that he was extremely remorseful for the turmoil. He asked the law to give him 3 days to detail an apology, and, well, Lee decided he would not pursue the matter to sue him. Then, after Vincent Law decided not to pursue the matter, he even retracted his apology, revealed that he had lied again, and made fun of Law. In a 6,000-word expose, he detailed how Law had violated him emotionally. Also highlighted that molest also means disturb, and that his accusations of Law would be accurate if one used this definition instead, and hence concluded that he was technically molested by Law. He stated it was stupid of people to believe that he would actually issue a sincere apology. He attributes this inherent stupidity to the mindset inherent of that of religion. He then proceeded to call Law a molester, a mentally unsound person, and a hypocrite. He also described his interactions with Law and described how he plotted to publicly humiliate Law while he was in remand prison. When asked about Lee's hiatus about Turn, Law replied that he thought it's best to leave Amos alone and not write about him. He added that he was not considering legal action. Law's son, Francis Law, took to Facebook to refute Lee's claims against his father. In it, he stated his father always painted a positive portrayal of Amos in hopes that he would improve the public opinion of Amos. Yee's accusations against Law caused anger among social media users. There's also... Now, I want to use a clip from the Kumite when Amos Yee came on and was debating with a YouTuber known as Mr. Mediker. I'm going to use some of Mediker's clips later on. You'll see why, but that's way, way later. Anyways, I'm going to play a little bit of this just so you can hear how Amos felt about doing this.
I mean, fuck, you accused your bailer of molesting you. What's the background on that?
Oh yeah, I completely regret that, dude.
After he threatened to sue your ass, yeah, you completely regretted it. But then
I can
post directly after he accepted your apology saying, no, he did molest me.
Yeah, it was completely horrible. It's a personal fault of mine, and you bringing that up to try to discredit me is just intellectually dishonest. I already apologize for that.
Oh yeah, no, I would guarantee you nobody would like having their shit thrown back in their face. So what about the molestation? Were you molested?
As I said, I already admitted.
You
keep on pushing it. You keep on.
You were lying then, yeah? You made it up for attention. You made it up for attention.
Why do you lie that I'm a troll? I already said that.
Because you're blatantly a troll, Amos. Like, I can see through it. You're transparent as shit. I'm just amazed nobody else on the panel can. So I'm asking you, why did you make up the lie about being molested? What kind of an attention whore are you, Amos?
I'm not going to entertain. I already said I was sorry for it.
And no, I don't care that you said you were sorry. Why did you make up the lie that you were molested by your bailer? I don't care that you said you were sorry. Why did you do it? Amos, see, this is why it's really apparent that you're a troll, because you won't just answer a straightforward question. Why did you lie about a molestation?
I'm not going to entertain it. You're just trying to make me feel bad.
Yeah, there we go. Buddy, you're so transparent.
He was then called back to court as he refused to meet with his assigned probation officer and then charged with 3 weeks of jail time, and he was pretty much, he had to suffer with dealing all that shit. Now, Yee was hospitalized, he had to go through a lot of stuff, and there was a lot of protests against him. He then, of course, also criticized Islam, got arrested again, and then, in December of 2016, he decided to flee to the United States and seek asylum.
I was arrested in my authoritarian country of origin, Singapore, for criticizing religion and the Singapore government. And so I escaped here to the United States to gain safety and free speech, only to be put in American jail for 10 months. Why? Because the immigration system in America treats every individual who flees their country and asks for help in America as a threat before they prove that they aren't. So I, literally, completely innocent, had to sit in American jail for 10 months fighting a trial to prove that I deserved to stay in America and exercise my free speech before winning and being released.
What Amos doesn't understand about this is he basically tried to do this without trying to seek asylum. He just did this on the whim, randomly. He didn't try for it. So yes, they're going to hold you, they're going to jail you, because you did it in the completely ass-backwards way. No shit, Amos. They would do this to me if I went to another country randomly. They would do the same shit to you in any other country. Canada, all of them. They have to have some time. You have to have some effort into seeking asylum. You just came here on a whim. And in fact, also, I'm going to use a clip from another YouTuber, Jeff Holiday, right now, so.
The point is that you came here illegally, and you're only free because of the circumstances of the persecution by the government that you're fleeing from. you didn't do anything right in this situation. In fact, you actually fucked it up completely. And then you had to deal with the repercussions of that. That's nobody's fault except your own. And nobody is trying to say that you should feel gratitude towards America. I think it's more that maybe you need to have a little bit more perspective on this.
Now, at the ass end of 2017, Yee decided to upload 3 videos, which I cannot find re-uploads for to save my goddamn life. Why pedophilia is alright, don't discriminate against pedophiles, and free speech for the pedophile. He was originally, before this, invited to give a speech at Harvard College by a student club. However, because of these videos, his invitation was rescinded about a day before the event.
My highly anticipated speech at Harvard has been cancelled. Harvard had booked a hotel for me, bought a $600 plane ticket for me, but in the last minute, they canceled the event.
Now, Yee ended up begging for donations from followers via Facebook, saying that he'd rather borrow than take a job he didn't like. Saying the worst case scenario, nobody wants to donate money to support my work and I run out of money. Am I going to get a part-time job that I don't like? No. I would go and borrow money from people who are willing to lend me something, which very thankfully I have a few of. Most people wouldn't do that. They detest the very idea of not being financially independent and low life relying on someone. But to me, it's very important that I lead the kind of life I want and do the things I love. A part-time job takes hours off your day, ruins that. A feeling of shamelessness on relying on others for money is much more worth making half your life or more of your life miserable, at least for me. Now, I'm of the belief that, you know, I like working, personally. So, I just think he is a little bitch, but that's my opinion. Now, Amos Yee made the rounds on a lot of different live streams, with YouTubers like Count Dankula, Jeff Holiday, Andy Warski, Mr. Mediker, Destiny, a ton of different YouTubers all having interviews with him. And while I would love to play clips from those, they're all like hour to 3 hour to 4 hour long live streams, and this video wouldn't come out for like another 2 weeks if I really had to go through all of them and cut them. However, there are links down below to a lot of these that I feel like are interesting. I've added clips from a Mr. Mediker one and you know, Jeff Holiday's video about it, so just so you know, I have seen these videos, but going through, sorting them, cutting good clips, it would take a little too long for everybody. I do recommend watching the Destiny debate, and I'd say maybe the Jeff Holiday and Count Dankula ones. I think those ones are probably the most interesting. Or the time he's on the Kumite, if you really want to see a total shit show, like the Kumite always kind of was. Shortly after that, he was temporarily banned from Facebook for violating community standards. Twitter then suspended his original account, and then shortly after this, he was evicted from the Chicago apartment that he was living in due to his host not wanting any issues from Child Protection Services because he was talking about being a pedophile.
Why do you think that kids and babies aren't able to consent to sex?
1 hour later.
I'm getting kicked out of this wonderful house.
And 2018 was not really good for Amos. So, because CNN reported that his ads have been appearing on his channel, which was being used to promote pedophilia, the Toy Industry Association pulled their ads from YouTube entirely. And then YouTube pulled all ads from his videos and banned him from being able to monetize content. They then, in May 2018, like a month later, they banned his entire channel for violating community guidelines. And about a couple months later, his Patreon was shut down. And at the ass end of the year, his Facebook page was shut down, as well as his WordPress blog. He was also a moderator on a pro-pedophile Discord server entitled The Ball Pit, which was shut down in the same month. Which, if you're gonna do a pro-pedophile thing, maybe don't name it the kind of thing that you would never let your kids around if there was a pedophile near. That's just me. Maybe I'm too much of a big brain smarty person. Now, pretty much around the same time also, Melissa Chen, who was a human rights activist who played a genuine role in getting Amos free from prison, pretty much openly denounced him for all of his disgusting views and volunteered herself to escort him back should he be deported. And I have a video of that, and I'm going to cut some clips in here for you.
Exactly 2 years ago, almost to this very day, I paid him a visit while he was still serving his sentence for wounding the feelings of his fellow countrymen in a YouTube video. and handed Amos some documents that would kickstart his asylum process. His case was unprecedented in many ways, and 6 months after he was seized and detained at the border, which by the way was a total screw up on his part, he became a political asylee in the United States with the help of some very talented and very hardworking lawyers. Amos had cut all ties with me since February 2017 during a period of time when I was one of the only people who had access to him while he was actually detained under the auspices of ICE. He felt that I was too authoritarian in my approach to him as I constantly advised him on how best to behave in a way that would enhance his chances of winning his case, and also in a way that would enhance his success in America after he got out. Since ceasing communication with him and being barred from his social media feeds, not a single neuron in my brain was devoted to ever thinking about his existence, with the sole exception of occasional updates from a very kind friend who, every few months, would basically drop in and out of Amos's life to make sure he was doing okay. The spoiler alert is that he really wasn't. So today, my conscience does weigh really heavy due to Amos going down the rabbit hole of agitating for the morally corrupt cause of legitimizing pedophilia and actively organizing to promote it. As a result, I am compelled to say that Amos needs to be deported from the United States. And if he, in the process, gets sent back to jail in Singapore for going AWOL on national service, I would find it extremely difficult to actually sympathize with that. In fact, I'd volunteer personally to escort him on his one-way ticket back, whether he liked it or not. Many have told me that they were sorry that Amos betrayed me. No, he didn't. He has betrayed basic human decency. He has betrayed innocent children everywhere. And he has also betrayed the moral fabric of society. If any child was sexually abused because the perpetrator came across Amos's pro-pedo resources or even connected with other pedos through his Discord server, honestly, I could never forgive myself. Given my active role in his successful asylum case that gifted him a clean slate and newfound freedoms, I must actively oppose him out of sheer personal responsibility as he has thoroughly abused these hard-won freedoms. I call on everyone to continue reporting all of his accounts and also to the Department of Homeland Security for his pedophilia advocacy. The obvious problem, on hindsight, is that the desire to see him as a figure, as some sort of figure that could take the shape of our own cause, our own very own causes, admittedly led to developing blind spots and biases. For example, I think his brilliance and genius have been vastly overstated. Everyone who has ever handled this kid has known how difficult and erratic he is, and how frankly, the more you get to know him, the more you realize that he possesses almost zero redeeming qualities, and even worse, almost no capacity to learn or correct course. His narcissistic personality disorder is on an order of magnitude that I doubt history has ever witnessed yet, and he was mentally broken by the time he was released from ICE detention here in the US. Several of us involved in the case suspect that someone must have known of these issues long before the asylum plans were set in motion, but that they were somehow kept from us. In short, the boy is not all right, and even if he's made dumb mistakes in the past, the 20-year-old today can no longer escape being accountable for his transgressions and responsible for his actions. Amos is a stain on Singapore, and he is a stain on the human race. And while I disagree with how he was treated and dealt with as a child, it's become clear that Amos cannot be granted any platform to air his horrendously harmful views. I'm personally sorry for how he turned out, and how the ripple effects of his case will have on all legitimate, responsible activists doing good work in Singapore. He is a threat to society, and I'm not going to stand idly by until it is attenuated.
Now, Amos is still on the internet, pretty much. He's on a website called Free Speech Tube that he went to after his YouTube and all that were banned, where he still uploads videos to this fucking day. Still really dumb, really awful videos, very low quality. In fact, this video has gone on too long, so I'm not going to show any of them. However, the website that he's posting on, Free Speech Tube, has a lot of incredibly weird and fucking creepy videos that are... I'm not gonna click on any of these, but they're really fucking weird and creepy. And with that, we roll to our Patreon outro. I'm gonna cut to some audio that I recorded later. Here we go. So at our $10 tier, we have Amaret Groen and Fee. At our $4.99 tier, we have Aslan, Ichi, Union 573, and Typhoid Turntable. And in our $1 tier, we have Astrologia, Cassandra, Charlie, Sydney, Lyra, Luana, Stephen Mayer, and the Bean of England. This video took about a week to make, and it shouldn't have, if I'm being honest. I was kind of busy a couple days, but I think it was informative, well made. I hope everybody likes it. Hopefully Amos gets deplatformed, if I'm being honest. So I'm genuinely glad though that the scumbag's off YouTube and his fucking pedophile server's banned, but it's not enough, sadly. I feel. Now, anyways, it is 9 a.m. on Monday, so I'm gonna render this, upload it, and hopefully you guys will see it tonight. Have a good day.